Hello, hello. All right, we are back at it, building this new marathon timeline. I do have a few things before I get into the meat of this that I put at the bottom here that I thought might be fun to go through. I have them listed below this right here. Okay. Oh, the stream MVP. So a fun thing that I added there at the bottom. Hey, Sneaky, how are you doing? Oh, your name is here. I thought it'd be fun. The people who've been contributing and commenting from the last stream, I put a little scrolling text at the bottom to commemorate your valiant efforts and then helping me work on this thing. So that's the first thing there. And then also, Bon, who was on the stream the other day, he's chatting. He's been commenting on my videos. Very supportive dude. Released his first video, and he's already got 49 subs and 500 views on it. That's super cool, and it is very well deserved. It was like edited super well. I won't play it here because anybody's watching this or watched it later and has not seen it. Yeah, absolutely, Sneaky. Thank you. But if you haven't seen Bon's video or his channel, definitely go check it out. Subscribe. Like, the editing is crazy good. He's very articulate. Everything is put together super well. So I wanted to point that out. And obviously he was very supportive of the live stream last week, and like I said, a bunch of my other videos. So definitely check that stuff out. And I want to say he has another video that he was talking about coming up. Oh, look at that right there. Awesome. Super cool. Yeah, I agree, Sneaky. Yeah, he definitely put a lot of work into that. Super cool. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about with the Bungie Day stuff, obviously, unfortunately, I did not see any marathon news or updates here. We just got this, basically. The next Sunday is a very special day for a studio. You guessed it, and this is from their thing from last week. Bungie Day, we're celebrating with the Bungie Foundation PvP tournament and amazing discounts. I was going to release my video, then I watched Bonds, and now I'm going back and improving mine. Oh, dude, I'm sure it's going to be great. That's awesome. Like I said last week, definitely let me know when you release it. I feel like everybody who's been coming to the channel and interacting with my stuff, I feel like is so like tuned in to the community. So I'm super excited to see what you got cooking up, dude. But this got me thinking, the Bungie Day thing, about the Bungie store. And this is something that I think I pointed out maybe in one of my ARG videos. But, oh, maybe I need to open this again. The Bungie store itself, with the marathon merch that they have, hold on. Man, where is it? Why do they always, here we go, merchandise. Shop by game, here we go, marathon. What I thought was interesting, we kind of had these four main groups from the ARG. We had the UESC, Mida, Traxxas, and Sakaguchi. And they have the UESC, they have the Mida shirt, they have the Traxxas shirt, and I guess they have another Mida shirt. But they don't have a Sakaguchi shirt, and instead they have a Cyber Acme shirt. And I believe the code that was on the Cyber Acme shirt was, it was like, they deciphered it to be something like, We Connect Worlds. And Cyber Acme, appears in the bottom like left corner, I think, of all the terminals in the original trilogy. So it's interesting that it, you know, if you go and look, even like look, if you search on the story page, if you type in Cyber Acme, I don't think anything, like, it doesn't have its own page, nothing is being said about it. Even if you go to like 4pedia or the Cyber Acme wiki, which is kind of a newer one, I think, that was set up for the Marathon universe. Even that one, I don't think has like an entry for Cyber Acme, but in all of the terminals, obviously we see right here, Cyber Acme Systems is either the people developing the computers or the software that's running on all the terminals in the ship. So I do wonder, maybe, hey, maybe they'll get some extra stock of some of these Marathon merchandise. Shirts and stuff that they had from last year, maybe for this deal that they're gonna have running. That would be excellent. And yeah, oh yeah, this was the other thing, is that in the ARG Google Doc, you can see, just Control F this. In the CyberAcme section, there was nothing about it other than there was a t-shirt like we just talked about, which is kind of weird because Sakaguchi didn't get one, but CyberAcme, which seemingly has like no lore or history or information about it other than being referenced on the terminals themselves, did get one. But the CyberAcme website that was found during the ARG was like, I guess, just made by somebody, had a different registered under a different like company, wasn't like designed the same. So it's just something that the Bungie Day stuff got me thinking about. And I wanted to bring up because I do wonder if CyberAcme is kind of being built behind the scenes to be another entity that has some influence in the upcoming game. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about just for a quick moment, obviously we're focused on Marathon, but when we did the Summer Games Fest stream, they had played a trailer for the Dune Awakening game, and man, I have seen some more stuff from this, and this looks pretty sick. I think some of the screenshots here are rad, and obviously if you like kind of the deep sci-fi of Marathon, Dune is obviously that turned up a little bit, kind of like the classic expansive future universe. And this game looks really cool, and it's an MMO, so I'm interested in seeing how that plays out. And the last thing I wanted to touch on before we start working on this thing again is June, what did it say here? June 26th. On June 26th, the story page had uploaded some, I want to say there were screenshots from the trailer from last year, because the company that made the trailer is like, they've received Emmys, they've worked on a bunch of stuff, they've done like Xbox commercials, but I guess from that studio, the production studio who did that, and they won awards for it, it's called Antibody. The story page had uploaded some other screenshots, and primarily I was, and I just haven't talked about this yet, but I really, these are the intriguing images for me. This 3 AI and then the 4 AI heads that are connected down here. One of my kind of like, if I don't know if you guys have seen my conspiracy, or the one where I kind of like speculate as to some of the narrative stuff, the secret story that might be gonna play out in the upcoming game. It's kind of built around this concept that Traxxas 4, the AI itself, might be either existing in other AI as like personality cores, or controlling this kind of larger web network of AIs. Oh, this might be relevant to my video. Oh, dude, well, I'm glad. Hey, June 26th on the story page. Definitely a lot of cool assets here. And I haven't used any of these in my videos, but I feel like a lot of these are super visually stimulating, especially when they're in this kind of clean format here. But seeing these images really kind of, that gets my gears spinning about that kind of theory I've been working on in this kind of, cumulative, collective consciousness that might be occurring between these AI. If Traxxas has either split himself up or wormed his way into the databases of these other AI that are existing in the universe. So I wanted to point that out, because I think that might be a cool little thing that we got a little bit of behind the scenes access to on account of the story page sharing that. So that is everything. Once again, yeah, absolutely. $29.99. Where'd you see that? Was that in the images? Let me click back over here. Sneaky saying $29.99. Let me go back and see. I didn't see a $29.99 there, but let's check it out. Oh yeah, look at that. 29992C. Interesting. Back in the images, yeah. No, I didn't. I haven't even like I like cursory looked over these, but I haven't like dove into them or anything. Yeah, that is interesting. There's a lot. I would be interested to see if any of the kind of numerics and stuff that we can kind of piece together from these like unused assets or whatever. I wonder if any of these would correlate to like the orders. Where's the purchase orders? I believe at the bottom of this. See, I kind of wonder if any of this might translate over here. 299. Yeah, it could be a year. It could be like a partial for an order ID. Yeah. See, great eyes, Sneaky. That's why you're an MVP, dude. All right. So definitely something that I'll circle back to as we get going. We'll have this pulled up just in case we use it. Okay. All right. So I think that's everything. Let's jump back into this. Okay, so my plan today, I think what I'm going to do is first I'm going to figure out how, because we were talking about that 2400s thing with Traxxas. I'm going to see about slipping that in or if it makes sense. And then I think I'm going to jump into the UESC stuff and go through that, looking for any relevant dates. And then from there, I kind of want to tackle the Sakaguchi email. So let's start with that. All right. Let's do... okay, yeah, let's start with Traxxas. What am I saying? I just said it. Okay. What are we saying? 2400, the Ascension. Okay. See, this is what I was thinking of. I want to add... And you know, we see this in the timeline... So it kind of fits with the format. We see these, the question marks. So I'm thinking I'm going to put some right after the last 2300s date and do like a 24 question mark kind of deal. And then include, same red we're using. Okay. And then I want to include, because I feel like this is just such a pivotal thing, the Traxxas off-world solar orbiters. All right. Let's see if we can refit this in here. I'm going to go 24, question mark, ARG info, and... Oh. Of course, pasting with the formatting. All right, let's change this from the Traxxas resurrects Christ as the Traxxas off-world solar orbiters. I just feel like that is such a, and obviously I ranted a little bit about how pivotal I think that piece of information is, but I think that this just ties together this century so much in terms of how these things were resolved. So I want to include in here that this is an event that's relevant within the century, but we don't have, obviously, a specific date. So I think if we come across, we'll see here, if we come across stuff like that, I think I'm going to lean towards, if it's like relevant and I think it's valuable overall, I think we're going to do is Control-Shift-V, paste without formatting. Awesome. Thank you, Sneaky. Now I just have to remember it, though. That's the key. All right, so we did that. Let's jump over here. The evidence ones. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be pivotal. So until we have a better, way to put it in, we'll do it that way. Now, I think all of these have the same date. So let's see. And this is the record. Okay, I'm not going to include this one. In the ARG videos, I think that this one's also stored. It was stored like in a different file location within the UESC website. So I think specifically the director deposition is not canonical, but you know, cool little piece that they threw in there of Christopher Barrett. So I'm going to leave that date untouched. Although it would be funny to have a May 2023 date, as we don't have anything even. Do we have anything even in the 2000s? I don't even think. Yeah, we're in the 90s. Oh, okay, I guess 2070 and 2095. Look, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Okay. Regardless, we're going to skip that one. Now we're going to wait for these ads. All right. Okay, see, that's even better because it's not just a like file date or when it was, you know, stored. It actually has the recording date. Cyber Acme multi-layer security protocols from the UESC evidence. Yeah. See, so it must be like it's not just a hardware developer. See, they're like basically an all-encompassing. They're kind of like a Microsoft kind of deal. Yo, thanks to Stream MVPs goes crazy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to make sure it's included. Our most valuable players here, building the timeline. Obviously, you're included. Bond, once again, I don't know if you were here earlier, dude, but awesome video, super sick. Thank you for putting that out there for us all to watch. And the editing is superb, superb. I'm jealous, dude. You got 6 skills. And I saw you posted that picture of your upcoming edit. And that looks like a headache, dude. Awesome, man. But yeah, I think Cyber Acme is kind of this Microsoft kind of entity. You know, they got their hands in the software. I'm assuming they probably have some level of hardware development. But okay, we got 5/25/2893. I believe this is the date for all of the evidence files. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, it is. Interesting that this one has a different. See, they took out this kind of background. So for the SFIT, for the compilers, they kind of have this weird like castle, you know, repeating structure type thing. This one's clear. All right. 5/25/2893. If they're all on the same date, that kind of makes it easy because we can just say 5/25/2893. Okay, we can just say UESC evidence files. Okay, and we'll, you know, what we'll include the number. What format have we been using? Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, dude. Next video will be a bit longer and better. I'm sure it will be, dude. That's gonna be awesome. I was super impressed. That first video was badass, and to do like 500 views on your first video, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's very sick. All right, so we're doing month, day, time if we have it, year first. Okay, so this is going to be our latest date, I believe. 893. Another cool thing about this date is I don't really feel like I've seen anybody referencing it. Look, we did it backwards here though. 15 to 20 October. Let's do it this way. Let's make it consistent. 10. It says 15 to 20. Do it that way. I think we just had it that way because that's how it was written in the where we pulled it from. All right, 2893, 05, 25. All right, and how are we gonna say this? Okay, let's just say UESC evidence files 1842 to 1845 recorded. I think that's pretty concise. Order. Hot cross buns on this thing. Okay, here we go. 1842, 1845. We're going to omit the director deposition. This is also formatted backwards. Gotta head to work. Good luck with the stream, man. Lace video is awesome. Thank you so much, Bon. I appreciate it. Hope work goes well for you, brother. Have a good one. Alright. Sick. Okay, so we got the evidence files out of the way. Alright, so how are we gonna do this? Obviously, we have like a pretty solid date here for the memoranda. And the memoranda are kind of laid out as like drafts. So like they're kind of like, you know, saying how are we gonna approach this subject of we sent out, you know, probably the largest, you know, human movement and project of all time, you know, leaving our solar system, establishing a, you know, colony on a foreign world entirely. You know, we haven't even really seen it before. Got a lot of good dates here. But which one do we use? Is it relevant for all of them? So like this one was done in October. I believe the way that Carnamere formatted it is this is the final draft, I believe. Draft A, draft B. 22 October. Yeah, and I think the emails kind of occur, the UESC emails occur over this kind of initial date where they're going through the drafts. And yeah, see, and here's like the notes that the administrators or whoever's, you know, commenting on how they should word everything that they're saying. Oh, another interesting thing that I did not realize when I was going through and doing my ARG videos, which I might have to go back and correct, is that I didn't understand that Argolis is another planet in the Tau Ceti star system. So Argolis is a separate super Earth-sized planet. I want to say they were referring to like maybe whatever continent or something is what I was thinking as Argolis. Maybe just put the final draft. Yeah, I think that's right, Sneaky. I think that's what we'll go with. But I thought Argolis was referring to like whatever, you know, continent they had decided to land on and colonize, or maybe they had somehow thought about that beforehand. But it's actually a whole separate planet. So it seems almost like there's nuke and pave plan where if like shit goes wrong, they're just gonna nuke everything. Isn't even like let's nuke our, you know, little city we built. It's like let's just nix this whole planet, move on to the next one, which makes it even more kind of sinister. All right, so memorandum for the Secretary General. Subject required. Okay, so yeah, let's just do the final draft of that. That's 2795. And to explore. Really good point. I just was reading about the Argolis thing like a day or two ago, and I hadn't even thought about that. But that's a really good point, especially when we're thinking about kind of you know, they're saying they're gonna have 3 maps. Like, who knows what that means? Could one map be like the colony, and one map be like an interior, you know, corridor kind of map of the marathon? And yeah, maybe another map is Argolis. Or what if, I mean, what realistically are the odds that the 4 wouldn't have made a stop there? You know, if it's habitable, we know that the 4 kind of establish like operating bases and, you know, stick around on planets that they've colonized or came to or taken slaves from before. Because at Lohuan, they, you know, had people stationed there because they thought Durandal, or they knew that Durandal was going back. So it would be interesting if maybe the 4 have some sort of like resupply outpost on that planet nearby. Or maybe that's how they're supplying and, you know, getting additional fighters and, you know, their slave forces over to the planet as they're being killed by the runners. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there. That's a really good point. I haven't even like thought about that as a concept. Maybe us actually exploring Argolis. But yeah, it is interesting that they would choose to reference it in here like that, and it makes me think might be more relevant than we thought. All right, 2795. Oh, all right. You know what I got to do? Back. Go red. Here we go. All right, 2795. What'd you say? November 2nd. I think 2 will be on the colony. The scenes from the trailer look different from the orbital image, so 2 maps from the trailer, I think. Oh, that's a good point. You know, another thing I've been thinking about doing is like going through and doing a kind of a breakdown of the Vidoc, because you know I've watched the Vidoc quite a few times, but there's so many little pieces of like concept art and stuff that gets shown that I wonder kind of what we could glean from looking a little bit deeper at that. But yeah, we definitely do see like a few different areas, or what appear to be a different areas. 11 November 2nd. It's from the ARG. How do we want to say this? UESC. Let's do it this way. UESC publishes the... Alright, I'm going to try the trick here. Control C, Control Shift V. Boom! Look at that, sneaky. Why you're an MVP. Oh, this is what my video is about. Tinfoil hat going through each frame of the trailer and Vidoc. Oh my god, well, awesome. Well, I won't need to do it then. That sounds perfect, dude. I'm super excited. Yeah, there's so many cool things in the Vidoc. Man, I don't know if you finished recording it or you're still working on it, but I know last week we were talking about the artifacts thing, and I just feel like that is such a in terms of how that like the only time we see this artifacts term even referenced anywhere within the Marathon universe is not even within Marathon. It's within an interview about Marathon, but it's like about the Pathways epilogue hint book, and Jason Jones is saying it, and they say artifacts, all over the. Yeah, well, I'll have to see. I have to see how thorough you are. If I can come up with anything else. But no, I'm excited to see that. But it's really interesting to me how often they bring up that term artifacts. I just feel like they could have used so many other things to call it that it's difficult for me to believe that they aren't trying to draw some sort of connection there. All right, memorandum for the Secretary General regarding. I think this is how I want to word it. Actions to reestablish, communicate, investigate disruptions of some of. Does that sound weird? Is that how it is in the Google Doc? Let's bounce over here just to they word it over there. It's the UESC. This is such a good document that they put together. Trying to get through and find this. Okay, this is all the chat logs. Orders. MITA. Okay, here we go. Draft B. Okay, draft A. Maybe this would be reestablishing regular reliable. Alright, let's go with this. I think that's kind of what we're trying to say. More accurate. Bullshit. Alright. USC publishes the memorandum for the Secretary General regarding reestablishing regular, reliable communications with New Cascadia. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put in parentheses here. Gosh, fat fingering all over the place. The colony. Just because I don't know how many people be familiar with New Cascadia. It's interesting that they chose to give it a name like that. It makes sense. I mean, the colony was there for 10 years. It's interesting that we didn't see it referred to anything other than that in the original games, especially when you consider that the security officer talks about how, like, he lived there. He's like the hero of the colony. They require, they rely on him to do all this stuff, but they don't even give it a name in the original games. But I guess they probably knew that they were going in the direction of not hanging out at the colony. All right. So we've done the evidence to the memoranda. Let's check out the letters. Okay. Hope that upon arrival we'll find New Cascadia vibrant and thriving. Yeah, see, and they even named it before we started the journey. Possibility that whatever caused a disruption in communications also forced them to abandon the primary colonization target. Okay. I don't really know if this is a super relevant date. Be here. 17 Columba 459. Okay, this I think could be relevant because this is like the first documentation that we have in universe referencing the 8 new colony AI. I think probably like one of the most obvious given things about the ARG is that these AI are going to be like these are going to be the, I don't want to say antagonists, but these are going to be like the characters that we're interacting with at the colony. These people, these AI are obviously going to have a lot of leverage and impact. I mean, obviously we see it here in the Mida art. We see the mini eyes, and we're kind of getting a little piece of their personality. So I think that including the date for this document would be relevant, just because I think that the 8 AI are going to be very prominent within the story of the upcoming game. So I think for that reason we should include this, and we'll just say Strauss publishes his letter. Let's do this. Let's figure out what day this is in Earth time. Close all these out. Here we go. Oh. November 14th, 2472. Marathon's completed. Wait, is this really a day before? Is it a day before? Is that what we're... Wow. See, that's a cool one to add as well, because just how close it is. All right. Here. All right, how should we say this here? Just make sure, understanding manage the limitations of integrated anti-ramp. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna use this kind of as the guiding, the title. Or I'm gonna start with saying this though. That's who it's to. Bernard. Oh, and here comes the. How do we spell Bernard Strauss? What do they use in the ARG? Do they give him the H? They call him Bernhard, or is he Bernard in this one? I forget. Down here. Dr. Bernard H. Strauss. Man, I feel like he had multiple titles in the first one too. I know first science director, but I want to say he was referred to as something else. And even here it's like head of AI management and systems improvement, which is kind of a different title. All right, let's go to this. Dr. Bernard Strauss. Publishes his letter to the, come back over here, members of the Science and Engineering Action Group. I'm going to say members of the Science and Engineering Action Group of the Marathon, just because I believe... I'm assuming that group isn't like a larger organization. Alright. And engineering action group of the marathon regarding understanding and managing the limitations of integrated anti-ramp. I think that that sums up. Let's go through it. Wise, cleaner. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I know this is very stimulating, watching me back over and over again like a old man. All right, cool. All right, let's jump back over here. Okay, so we decided no to this one. This is just kind of like a general internal letter. Although I do think this name is going to be important if she was put into cryosleep, I guess. Something that I don't remember Marathon getting into anywhere, and I could be out there, could be something that kind of talks about this, but obviously we see the concept of the like cryosleep, where, you know, important people as they board the Marathon were put into these like cryo chambers, and then the 24,000 civilians were obviously left to kind of have generations of people born on board. That's where we get the Bobs. But with all of the technology, and like Sakaguchi talks about, they don't just make Biomata. They made like stuff to enhance human bodies. But we don't ever really see any mention or reference or explanation as to like what is the human lifespan like in the 2700s or the 2800s or 2400s prior to the launch of the Marathon. And you would think that if they're developing these kind of vessels to hold consciousness, then what is the limitation in terms of like making somebody live forever? Like, do they have to have like a host body? Do the runners have to have like a host body to return to because like they can't be sustained within the suit or within the Biomata for a certain amount of time? I don't know, but I'm interested in seeing like if they talk about that or reference that, or if like we see, you know, the commander Bethany R. Montenegro Sankara, like what if she just does show up and she's like 200 years old and she's got a bunch of implants and stuff? Let's see if they expand on that. Okay, let's see. The equanimity, let's see. I don't think we get... Do we get a launch date for the equanimity? Let's play endurance 150 years. Let me just click back over to the memoranda. Some of the Bobs had cybernetic eyes. Yeah, that's a really good point. But were those the simulacrums? Because the simulacrums were the Bobs who were like captured. No, I think you're right. I think some of them. Well, and also don't kind of the Bob troopers or whatever that are in, I believe, Infinity and maybe Marathon 2 and they might appear there, but I think they might have some implants too. I guess the simulacrums, they weren't the ones with the eyes. They were the ones that were all kind of like gooey and stuff falling out of them. Yeah, I wonder if those eyes are Sakaguchi made. It would be cool to see like an up-resed modern take on a Bob. Or if some of the simulacrums are like hiding somewhere, and so you come across this kind of like bunker, you know, and you open some door and a bunch of green-suited, goo-filled, strange-looking Bobs run out and explode. Oh, look at this. Sealed. Okay, until intended arrival. Alright, so this will be a good date to put in. The intended arrival of the equanimity. Let's see, is there a launch date that I'm like missing here? Haven't played Infinity yet, so I don't know about that game, but I know Marathon 2 has Bobs with some cybernetics. Yeah, see, I think they are in Marathon 2. They're like the I want to call them like shock troopers. I think maybe 4pedia has like a sprite version of them. Description, appearance. Oh god, the ads on every wiki. Wild. Different color uniforms, same face, a marathon. Begin with Durandal Bobs carry weapons and fight with the player. Oh, vacuum bobs. Yeah, okay, so they're only in Infinity. Yeah, see, these guys, vac bobs are similar in shape to normal bobs. The major difference is their heavy vacuum armor. Okay, so it's just an armor. Similar to that of the Marine. Vac bobs also shout different lines from normal bobs. Yeah, they're very funny. And Infinity has you in a bunch of situations where, you know, shit gets a little crazy with the timeline. So in some of them, you're fighting these guys primarily. They got some hilarious lines to throw at you. Like a much more serious Bob. Alright, so I'm gonna put this intended arrival date in. And maybe we can, if there isn't a date in here, I'm just trying to scan and see. There's worst case scenario, but see, this is just like planning stuff. Let's put the intended arrival date first, and then let's look at the letters and see if we can kind of retrofit what the potential launch would be given the date that we believe they're gonna arrive. And we're just gonna call this, is that what they call it over here? 20. Let's add the time first. 2894. April 20th, 2894. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay, we'll slip right in here. 2894 0420. Let's just do double digits. There. Alright, let's just make sure. Intended arrival date. I'm gonna say at Tau Ceti 4. Tau Ceti 4 is the planet as opposed to the star system. Because I'm assuming they're talking about getting to the colony itself. Kingfisher class. Overhaul modifications. 4-person command team. I don't think they... I'm just trying to remember. I don't remember if they ever gave like a actual launch date for the Equanimity. But I know that it says... Alright, let's see here. Endurance 150 years. Maybe it's the emails. We'll look at the emails next. I want to say somewhere they say that they're estimating that it'll take like 94 years or something. I remember talking about that in the ARG videos. And generators for operational flexibility and redundancy. 150 persons plus crew. Yeah, and you know, while we're here, I will reiterate, man, this 150 persons plus crew, it's like that is such a small amount of individuals. So you can tell they're really relying on the Biomata in terms of how they're going to be conducting their operations. All right, let's check the emails and see if there's any way to work backwards from there. All right. Clearly, some of the brass up here are not super hyped on the whole project. Getting back out to Tau Ceti. What days? What dates are these? This 23 October 1975. Yeah, so this is right after the first two drafts of the memoranda. Sir, I'm trying to wrap my head around what they hope to accomplish. 150 crew, they could send waves of 150 clones to explore. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I almost feel like that, or maybe they're kind of like working into. Well, but then again, it seems to me like even 150 though, it's like they know Traxxas is going. Like here, they're talking about the Warhawks. They're referring to like other entities with interests. Obviously, Mida, like they're aware of Mida at the time of the Traxxas chat logs going on. So if they're just thinking like, well, at least us and Mida are going, or at least us and Traxxas are going, and they probably have a suspicion that Mida is doing something behind the scenes, as they know that there were Mida sympathizers on board the Marathon, so why wouldn't they assume that there would be Mida trying to get out there at this point? But it almost seems like you would need more people, because like even if the colony's gone rogue and they don't, and you have to combat them, it's like you sent 24,000 people 400 years ago. Who knows what that number could have ballooned up to? Or even if they're entirely gone, they're gone from something. Who knows what kind of, forces were at the planet already, or, had found them. I just feel like it is interesting that seemingly the amount of people they have at their disposal is pretty small. But obviously, like you're saying, with the Biomata, it's like kind of this cyclical nature where whenever one person falls, it's just about how fast you can redeploy, another Biomata out there. All right, I'm not seeing any launch date stuff specifically. Some secret crew in cryo looks like 150, but actually way more. Yeah, that whole yeah, that's the other thing, is like it's like very intentional, in terms of like hiding some stuff in the jargon, in terms of like you see that in the purchase order that Traxxas has with Sakaguchi as well. That's a good point. Yeah, who knows what they're not saying? It's like 12,000 solar lanterns. This could just be weight that they're accounting for, hiding something else. Intended arrival is 2894, but they arrive in 2893, 1 year early. Maybe those are just recon stats. Yeah, well, and Traxxas talks about finding like kind of a quicker route, I want to say, almost, that they think that Traxxas references like they're trying to catch up, that they're like 4 years behind in the chat logs or something. So yeah, definitely some stuff is going on where they're finding better routes or a better way to utilize the resources to get out there as fast as they can. But yeah, that is a good point. The arrival slightly early. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here that's going to give us kind of a closer date for Goliath. Yeah. All right. Well, I think any idea what UESC EIR 6 might mean at the bottom of the memoranda? Let me see here. Does it appear at all of them? Director. See, what I would think, and I don't know, I have not seen anywhere that directly references this, but maybe this is like, I almost want to say like this acronym would be more closely tied to like directive, as like because this whole thing is kind of like a directive in terms of like how our standard operating procedures are going to adjust to meet these tasks, because this is our overall goal. So maybe this is the 6th directive that they've put out regarding this mission. Or maybe this is like one of many being proposed, and this is the one that they go with. Thus, that's why we found it during the ARG. Could be, let's see, intervals on automatically declassified. Yeah, this whole block seems like it's a directive that makes more sense. Yeah, I think it might flow a little bit more because this whole block seems like it's about the document itself. So it could be referring to that as a whole. But I don't know if do we see obviously not here, but do we even see that acronym pop up anywhere else? Yeah, I think so. Let's roll over here though. And look, I don't even see it here on the ARG doc. It's another hard part with some of these is like kind of have to bounce back and forth between sources and kind of see like which one interpreted it most accurately to the original source and which one had stuff that the other one didn't have and included different things. Does it appear here? Hmm. All right. Interesting. That's still not. Or there's more to come with those, or they haven't gone through all of them. I don't know if they've finished the Traxxas chat logs yet, but I know they hadn't gone through on the story page and posted like a full breakdown on that at the time that I was doing the ARG videos, and I don't think they've updated it. All right, so we have everything I think we're going to get from the UESC. Kind of, let me make this at the bottom. Let me just like put this to the side. Something that we're looking for. Date the Equanimity launched. That's something that I want to know. That I feel like there may have been an answer somewhere. Just cannot remember. All right, so we got. I think we got everything pretty zipped up from the UESC side. I think we got the Traxxas stuff done. I remember, we kind of gone through the chats, but I don't think that there was anything specific. Well, there's the Oxia Pulse incident that we worked back from, and I think we included the time as well for that. I think that was kind of the big one that we got from here. Oh, you know what we could include? We could include the Traxxas chat log getting wiped. I feel like that's relevant. 27 May. Look, and there's a good date on that. That seems relevant. It seems like obviously this chat log between the board of directors like provides a lot of kind of background information in regards to like Traxxas's incentive to take the action they're taking, their true intentions, kind of what information, knowledge they have behind the scenes of what's going on. So I kind of feel like the wipe of this channel is an important event in the timeline. I think I'm going to include that. And that's May 27th, right? Yeah, May. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in here. May 28th. Let's switch this around too. 5/25. You agree, Sneaky? Cool. Yeah, I think that's relevant. 27 May 2888, 9:05 a.m. PST. This way. Traxxas wipes chat log. Or maybe you should say chat room. Call it the board of directors chat room. I'm gonna say completely because they kind of do a daily wipe. This wiped out the chat room title. They moved to a different one. Billy Wipes. All right. Board of Directors chat room. Cool. All right, so I think we got everything that we're gonna get from Traxxas. All right, Sekaguchi. Now I know we pulled some stuff from here. We're gonna get a lot of good dates for these, but it's like this is gonna be the one where it's like, what do we want to throw in here? Because look, if we really wanted to get into it, Chief Strategy Officer Days Born, when he did all this stuff, that would be funny. But let's kind of look at the stuff that's relevant to the overall narrative. Now, these guys obviously play a part in the emails, and we're kind of looking at, like when we were adding the Traxxas Illuminate conference. I feel like that's a little bit more relevant just because it's kind of showing the interconnected nature of the relationship between Traxxas and Sekaguchi, and obviously, trying to blank on his name, Yamamoto, the guy whose email that we were within. What's this dude's name? He, Yoshito Tamura. He, I almost feel like he might be a relevant character within the game itself. I feel like him being kind of at the center of this and us not getting any good answers in terms of like who he is or what he's doing, and him getting fired at the end. Maybe we'll kind of figure out whatever happened to him. All right, let's see. Kind of relevant dates are we gonna be able to pull from here? Yeah, see, these are all just such individual things. I don't know if, like, I feel like I would include, because I know we've done some of the like the awards they've gotten. I feel like that's relevant and fun to throw in, but just feel like I don't think those are necessary. We put in this one. We decide to go against that. 57. Okay, let me just make sure, because I'm pretty sure we included these ones too. Yeah, Sekaguchi lecture. Okay, so we included all of these as well. Good to have that out of the way. All right, yeah, we didn't get any more dates over here. Okay, cool. So I think the last big thing that we need to go through are the emails. And just make sure that we pulled anything that was like super relevant out of here, because there's a few things. Now the question is how much do we invest in terms of relevancy to Yoshido, because I do feel like it's kind of a big deal that it ends with him getting fired. I think that's kind of relevant because it seems like he was a primary character and that maybe something will come back. Let's start at the top, and then we'll kind of, as we put stuff in here, because also there's some other fun ones that might just be fun to throw in. Like, I think we can get a good date for the like this right here. This might be fun. I feel like Yoshito Tamura getting fired is relevant if it isn't in there already. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna go that way. I think we'll include it. We'll do that one. We'll start at the top and work our way down. We'll include it. Because yeah, I think you're right. I think Yoshido, I mean, for how much in terms of like actual writing that we get from it, the emails, the Sekaguchi emails are a huge portion, and they really connect the dots between what's going on with the UESC and what's going on with Traxxas. Because with Sekaguchi, you get to see the fact that they have like a UESC specific individual who's handling business with them, and you get to see that their legal team is trying to kind of hide what they're doing with Traxxas. And then also on the Traxxas end, you get reference to some of the stuff they talk about in the emails in their chat rooms in terms of like, oh, we're doing the purchase order, I'm working with their CFO or whatever. He got fired and is working on some super secret thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, I hadn't thought about that. Maybe it's yeah, maybe he actually is doing something more advanced. See, my thinking was that he was either the Mida leaker, that he was involved with kind of the information that got leaked within the Mida zine that was put out, or that he had, he was working for one of these other players, either, the UESC, because I believe Yoshido is the one who is the correspondent for the purchase orders coming from the UESC. And that maybe he had slipped him some sort of information about the back dealings with Traxxas, or maybe it was the opposite way around. Yeah, I kind of thought like they may have killed him, or maybe he's on the run. Another interesting thing is that in the Mida zine, we get reference to in kind of that last like big block of text where they're kind of pitching their whole come join us, we're going to go over to Tau Ceti, and UESC doesn't have control over there. Kind of one of the last things they talk about in the scene. I want to say like page like 34 or something. They make reference to one of their runners who is like they can't get in communication with him, that he got revealed, something along those lines. Maybe he was like doing some spy work, and I think there's a possibility that that might be Yoshido as well. So hard because there's so much of the decoded stuff here. Okay, yeah, I think so. I think it's somewhere in here. Pigs, what they got? Lawn halls. Yava, here it is. Yava's in trouble and is cleaning up his digital trail. Yava sneak got peak, but Sec pounced. Okay, see, and is Sec referring to UESC, or is it referring to Sekaguchi here? Yava on a cleanse, no connection till cycled. Yeah, see, so this would have made me think, we hear specifically about this individual, and that he's been made, and that we're not going to be able to talk to him. And then, the only other individual that we have who's like getting fired and also has background information on all this stuff is Yoshido. So that kind of made me think that maybe they're going this way. But I really do like the idea that what if him getting fired was a play by Sekaguchi? What if it's an internal thing? They're trying to make it seem like that for whatever mole or insider they have from these other organizations. And maybe he is doing some sort of backside stuff to keep tabs on the UESC or Traxxas. Yeah. All right. I think we should add this is the other weird thing. I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but the toilets thing. And, it's funny in the Marathon story page when they're doing their kind of breakdown of it. That's something I believe they bring up as well there, is that what is this information for? Why is this included? Is this tied to the information leak? Was this like, the kind of mechanism to allow some heist to occur or something? This is kind of one where it's like they talk about it twice. It happens right in relation to all of these things. They give us such specific details where even if it isn't super relevant, I think it'll be fun to throw in. Just because, like, why were we getting so much? And I think with the ARG stuff, it kind of fits because of the stuff that occurs like during the ARG in this, May 2888 block. I think the more stuff there is the better. I think that's fine. May 25th, 2888. I'm just going to put this in here. The toilet thing and Traxxas collapse incident happened on the same day. Oh, that's a good point. Oh yeah, I'm putting them right next to each other. I gotta think here. That's a good point. Yeah, it's it's interesting. Might just be a coincidence. Yeah, that's true. But if it is, like this is what makes me. I feel like the setup for this, like this almost kind of comical. Have you ever seen like a Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 11 kind of thing? You know, you got this heist movie idea. Oh, very good. You know, but I feel like breaking in through the toilets is like such a humorous kind of like heist movie kind of thing that I do think you might be onto something there. The fact that these two events happened simultaneously, like, was this MITA or the UESC trying to figure out like what exactly was going on behind the scenes with the relationship between Traxxas and Sakaguchi? Because if these two events are connected or they were planned to occur on the same day, it would be interesting to figure out like what was uncovered or what was found or what was the distracting element of having this mine collapse, what information got leaked, and what was going on at the same exact time, at Sakaguchi, how those things connect. But I think it's so random, it has to be important. Exactly. Okay, we're including it. I'm trying to, in the toilets in block Northwest, temporarily out of service. I think a good way to say this. Also, Yoshida was away from his office in the morning the day before. Yeah, another, like you said, another weird little piece of information that they had thrown in there. Location 149th, 149th floors, Sakaguchi Tower. I'm going to call it Sakaguchi Tower. That's what I'm going to... Alright, yeah, I think that's how I'm going to say it. Like this. Alright, Sakaguchi Tower toilets. Doing the Lord's work here. Sakaguchi Tower toilets in block 14941-60, Northwest 149th floor, temporarily out of service. I'm going to say go out of service. Alright. Is it relevant? We'll have to wait and see. But if it is, hey, we will have the timeline prepared. We'll be able to connect all the dots. I think the next step up from this, right, will be I just buy a literal corkboard in red thread, and I just establish this insane, huge maniac style board with a bunch of clues and evidence and dates all connected. Maybe when the game releases, that's what I'll upgrade it to. My entire room will be just a cluttered mess, like a retired detective that went mad because he couldn't solve the case. Alright, so we included this. Illuminate comp, okay. Purchase order, PO, invitation. I couldn't understand a keyword. The toilet theory. We need some very niche, only the stream viewers will know the toilet theory. Maybe that's what I'll do for the next thumbnail. We'll get some insane toilet theory art for it. If there was an amazing way to tie everything back to the toilets going out of service, we can make that the center of the corkboard from which all the red thread streams away from. Alright, the task cryptid standard method. Is this the... I think that is the purchase order. Monitor PS completion. So I think this might be... relevant to put in. The question is that the one came first? Trying to see here. One of these doesn't open. Is it that one? Yeah. Oh no. Okay, so that's the... Wait, does this one open? Okay. Yeah, I think that's the addendum. This is the one that comes later. That's the purchase order. Did we include? Did we include a date for this one? May 23rd, 2888. That's the document date. All right, we're gonna put this in here. Hold on. All right, let's see here. All right, the May 23rd date. Leftmost is the invitation. Yeah, that's the Illuminate conference, which we should. I don't know why I'm scrolling up so much. Which I believe is right here. The second most important thing in the ARG, right next to the toilets. The conference. Okay. Now, just trying to think here. Was this the purchase order that they hid the? Let's bounce over here to Traxxas, because story page has a pretty good breakdown underneath. That might be a better. Oh, is it under Sakaguchi? Maybe it's under Sakaguchi. Yeah, okay, hold on. No? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, page 1, 2, purchase order. Page 2 is missing. Duplicate item. Trying 2 different items. Traxxas, okay. Traxxas Global. So I think this will be kind of how we want to put it about the clones they're getting. Okay. And what is the time? This is 23. So I'm just going to say Traxxas submits their order. Traxxas submits order to... We're going to call it a purchase order because that is the language they use in the ARG. Order to Sakaguchi for... And then let's pull that right from here. T-Series clones. Go through 300 S series. Wow, I'm gonna click through them every time. All right, and the P series. Do that. That's same other. All right. I have them submitting their purchase order here, which I believe that's what we're referencing up here in this email. Oh my gosh. All right. Upcoming calendar events out of office. Oh, he was out of office on the 26th. Okay. See, this is where it gets hard, because I think Yoshido getting fired is relevant. I think that clearly the culminating event for the email chain being him losing his job and kind of the questions about what's going on with toilets, who's the leak, in between these things. Did he get fired? Did he get killed? Did he disappear? But do we include things like this, or do we need to include, like, are we building in, like, on the 26th he's out of the office? Are we going to get information later on that indicates that some sort of event occurred over that time and that's going to become relevant? I don't know. I don't know how integral some of that information is. Concerns about exposing such information. So I don't think this is relevant. This is the purchase order. 3457, right? 24. Oh, okay. 4312. Yeah. All right. You know what? I think. Does the other one have a. Let's do this. I'm going to include it for now, just because we're going to put when he's fired, and I think this is in the lead up in the 2 days prior. I think I'm going to include this for now. If we decide later on that that's silly. Is the collapse on the timeline? What do you mean? The collapse? Is that one of the Traxxas cards or something? Hold on, let me. Or are you talking about the the shaft collapse? Yes. I'm losing my mind here. Collapse at the B01 site of the Traxxas Oxia Pulse operation on Mars. Yeah. And him being out of office is the morning after that. Also the day after the toilets. Yeah, you see, I think it's relevant. See, I think they're trying to build something with that. Alright, so let's 527. Yeah. Lost my mind for a second about what you were talking about. Alright, 0526. And then what's the time frame we're given here? 05 to 08. Okay. Are we given like a I don't think we are as terms of like what time they're going off here. Are they PST though? Or does that feel like, what are the PST? Alright. Shido Tamura out of all. Alright, let's include this. Morning, the return is scheduled for around 8 a.m. If the time is delayed, we'll notify. If it is urgent, please contact Mino Goto. Personal matters. I'm going to say is out of office for personal matters. I wonder if maybe he had like a family member or something at the mining collapse at the Pulse site. Alright. Prototype. Oh, this is addendum, the purchase order. Okay. So I think we include... Let's see if there's a date on the addendum at the bottom. If there's not a date... Ooh. There's not a date on the addendum. Let's use the date of that email. Japan's time zone is JST. Oh, that's a good point. That is a really good point. You know what? We're going to go with that. Thank you, Sneaky. We're going to include that for them for now. All right, let's see. Whoa, a little crazy. All right, let's see. Yeah, I don't think. Oh, create a date. May 24th, 2888. Oh, okay. See, yeah. So let's include it right here on the 24th as opposed to 26th, because the assumption we can make is that Goto would be receiving it, and for whatever reason Yoshida's seeing the emails, but Goto would be receiving that after the dealings have already been made at the higher levels. Let's include the date that addendum to the purchase order was actually made, which would be the day after. Which is another thing that we see them talk about in the Traxxas chat room logs. Oh, you know what? Let's also do this, because we should include the purchase number. Within here. Addendum to purchase order. And I believe the addendum is for the birth pods. Yes. Oh no. That's included. Okay, here we go. Provides details on the 5 prototype clones Traxxas Global are purchasing from. Oh, these are more advanced than the S-Series clones currently available. Vision sync optimization, maybe. Here we go. Created. Maybe I'm 5/24/28. Yeah, maybe I'm kind of misunderstanding this. Is this addendum? This addendum is not really like a prototype biomodel with full BIOS suite. Maybe it's not right to say that Traxxas is submitting this. Maybe it's Sakaguchi is creating it. That like this addendum, from what the story page is saying and from what I'm reading here, these are just like the. Yeah, okay. And you know what I'm remembering now, because when I'd gone over this in the AOG, I think I remember kind of talking about these. These are the specifications for the P series. I'm gonna just say, let's see what it says in the email again for the addendum. All right, let's see. Yoshi attached an addendum to purchase order. Please review and ensure all details are tracked. I'm just gonna say Sakaguchi purchase order. I'm just gonna say purchase order. Doesn't look like Traxxas sent the addendum. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a bad way for me to put it. I'm just gonna say purchase order receives addendum regarding P series specifications. Does that sound fair? All right. I'm gonna rock with that. I'm gonna rock with that and say that that's fair enough. Okay. All right. We'll include the toilets being restored. Include that. 26. All right. Let's see. So we're at the 20. Okay. That's the next one. 27th. All right. 2080. What time did they send this at? 10:33. Okay. And we're gonna go. We'll include the AM just because we did for the other ones, and I'm gonna stick with JST. I think that was a good addition, Sneaky. All right. Let's see exactly what they use. Please enter toilets. Close located. There we go. I agree with that. Cool. Cool. All right. 5:26, 10:33 a.m. You know what? Let's be consistent with this though, just so. All right. Cool. All right. Keep coming down. All right. We already included this. That's the Oxia Pulse. Yet. UESC request for disclosure of personal information. Legal Department for UESC has requested information. Security review purchase order dated May 23rd. You know, I think we should add this too. I don't think it's too granular. I think we include that. Oh, look, hey, it's sneaky right here. It says Japan time. Oh, and JST. Have I just been missing that? Good teamwork. All right. I think we include that. I think we include that the UESC are looking into it. All right, yeah, let's include that. That's on the 27th. What time? 05:04. Okay, cool. So we'll just go right here. Oh, you didn't even see that? Yeah. No, I was looking at it. I was like, hey, wait a second. I think that's what you were saying. All right. We're going to have to come back and we'll do some formatting stuff, but I think generally it's looking about the same. 05. Bungie Day and no marathon news. I know, Tawny. Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the beginning. I was saying the only thing they really are doing is they're doing like a charity thing with the Bungie Foundation, and they're doing like a merch deal or sale or something. But I haven't seen anything that indicates they're going to bring back any of the marathon t-shirts, which would be cool. They did another run of them. All right. JST. ARG. And then let's see exactly. Legal Department informs UESC requests information. All right, I'm just going to copy this. Let's jazz this up. Okay, we're going to change this to requests. Because I think what's going to be relevant here is that we understand the timeline in terms of like Traxxas is submitting this purchase order on the 23rd, right? Or the 20, yeah, on the 23rd. And then literally by the, by the 27th, the UESC is like, hey, we know that we need to look into this. Which kind of betrays the idea that Traxxas and Sakaguchi are operating at like kind of like a higher level. I mean, Traxxas, especially in the chat logs, really kind of paints the picture as the UASC kind of neat. Without us, they wouldn't have the power and capabilities that they have, that we're able to compete with them out at Tau Ceti, and that, there's a much more, the dynamic is much more in the favor of the mega corporation as opposed to the government. But the fact that UESC is on top of this and aware of it so quickly, it's like they probably have it more together, especially in terms of like intelligence gathering, than Traxxas might be willing to admit. Which, if Traxxas is itself a rampant AI and is kind of very arrogant, maybe, and full of itself, like maybe we saw with Durandal, it would make sense that they would kind of like undermine or really not foresee the capabilities of the UESC. Information security to review. Purchase order. All right. think it's fine. I think I'm just gonna label it as this purchase order, and that way that makes more. Seacrest Information Security to review the purchase order that we were talking about earlier. Cool. All right. So USC Tellera Tracks Limited. See, this would be if we wanted like a really deep niche t-shirt, if we had a Tellera Tracks t-shirt developed for this company that case law is based on in this one email. That would be even deeper than the Cyber Acme shirt. Comparing JST to PST at the time of the collapse was just at the time Yoshida was supposed to be back in office. Really? Interesting. Wait, so you're saying 4:08 p.m. is when the Oxia Pulse operation, that's when the collapse occurred. And you're saying that's like a few minutes after he was supposed to be back in the office, so it's like 8:04. 4 p.m. PST is 8 a.m. JST. Oh, whoa. Hey, Sneaky, I think you are very much so onto something because, like we've been talking about, what is Yoshida's role in all of this? And if he is this Yava, who gets made, who's working for Maida and then gets made at the end of the ARG, is what he was doing for those 3 hours bouncing his consciousness into a biomata and going and running this operation over on Mars to, collapse this mining facility? He was supposed to be back by 8 a.m. Well, maybe he set up some sort of bombs or did whatever he's going to do over there, unplugged from his biomata, slipped into the office, and his thinking was, oh, this is going to go off right after I'm done my thing. It's kind of like this perfect alibi for him. That is very interesting. Dude, you're on it, dude. Awesome. Okay. That is something we're definitely going to have to keep in mind. Yeah, see, I feel like this is the helpfulness of the timeline, is like seeing it all laid out like this. I just haven't seen it anywhere like this, detailed and put into chronological order. But especially when you break down all of the events that are occurring in the ARG, it's like there is a very cohesive story being told, but they just did such a good job breaking it up into different pieces that even if everyone's, putting it together and putting it on display and lore archives and stuff, it's hard to see, kind of the through line of it. But it's definitely there. All right. Traxxas. Okay, they're talking about the pulse mine collapse. Order gets approved. I don't think that's super relevant. I would want to include something about the partnership with Traxxas, but I feel like without a specific date or an announcement, is this an internal thing? I don't know that would be super helpful to see laid out like that. We know they're already working together. We know they're doing the purchase order. We know that Traxxas is going to rely on them more heavily as they try to position themselves against the UESC. I think that's fine. Tomorrow-san. Okay, this is where he's gets told he's promoted. Okay, and this is the one that I think we should include. Left side Gucci. All right, so let's include it at 10:33 too. We're on the 28th. All right. Just make sure 10:33. JST. See what exactly. I'm gonna say this. Sakaguchi company-wide announcement that Yoshito Tamura has left the company. Oh. Maybe Sakaguchi used Yoshido in some way to, you know, maybe he was like involved with the mine collapse, but maybe that was done by Sakaguchi to sell Traxxas on the Biomata, because we know that Traxxas is lying about how many people were actually killed, and we know that they're using it as a PR move, like a campaign to boost Sakaguchi's appearance in the public by saying that Sakaguchi, you know, their Biomata technology saved all these lives. I wonder if that's something that Sakaguchi did. And if Sakaguchi did do it, I wonder if anyone at Traxxas is aware. Alright. And once again, I think we went through this. I don't know that there's any relevant data. You know what is a date we should include that I don't know if it's like actually written anywhere in the ARG? Use him to plant bombs to showcase their clone technology, saving lives. Yeah. No, I think that's a really good... There's like a really good case to be made that with all that stuff put next to each other, that he was directly involved with that. Yeah. More red thread to add to the toilet theory. It all ties back to the toilets. In Japan, they flush left, right? Or they swirl the opposite way. They go counterclockwise. So that's tied in somehow. All right. I think this was going to be the best place for this because the ARG takes place, you know, at the same on the same days that it did in 2023, but in 2888. It's the only date that I don't think is actually included, but I think would be relevant would be the date that the zine was published. So I wonder. Couldn't connect. Okay, this is UESC stuff. All right. Hero Silence website contains an image left. The image contains data, pointing coordinates, going to those coordinates in Venice Beach. I don't know if there are clues in the graffiti. A photogram sheet scan of the graffiti is available. I believe it's May 24th. Nice. All right, let's see if they have something at the top. Yeah, I think May. I'm gonna have to find like a source for that. I believe May 24th was when the Mida zine was published. 5:55, May 26th, the Mida account was deleted. I think the two dates that I want to add from, well, the one date that I want to add is when the zine was published, and then I think we should include when the zine was taken down. I think this date, May 27th, 2 p.m. UTC. So let's call it May 24th. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's call it May 24th, and then I'm gonna have to see 24th. I'm just gonna say Mitazine becomes widely available because I mean I would assume that the ARG assets, like the websites and stuff, were like uploaded and ready to go, like when the trailer was released and people were uncovering it. But we do know for a fact that by the 24th, like people had found the website, I believe. I think that's a fair thing to say. And let's jump down to What time does it say here? 2 p.m. UTC. All right, so that's going to be 11 p.m. JST. So might have tweeted on May 25th. Oh, also on the 24th. Yeah, that's a good point. Are there any good dates? Do you think the tweets themselves are relevant, or are there any dates included in the tweets that you think would be good to add? Oh, you're saying that's just like they were active on Twitter. Maybe that was the first time. Yeah. Yeah, see, I think I want to say all of the websites kind of went live on the 23rd. It's just, waiting for people to find them. I'm going to put it after this just because it supposedly happened at 11 a.m. JST for the takedown of the website. Oh, but it's on the 27th, isn't it? Right? The May 27th. Tweets were clues for, yeah. I just meant like, are there any relevant dates or relevant piece of information that you think we should include on the timeline from the tweets? All right. How do I want to say this here? All right, let's do it. Let's do it this way. We'll call it like that. Replaced with a UESC domain seizure message. That. Nice. Alrighty. I don't think there are any important dates from the tweets. Cool. Cool. And we put in the estimated arrival, didn't we? Okay, intended arrival with Equinix. Right? Do we put that in the right spot? Why do we put this up here? It needs to go. It needs to go at the bottom, right? 2894. Make sure here. I would have put it up there. Was that in the letter? No, that was in the memoranda. Yeah. 2894. I don't know why I put this up here. This will be all the way at the bottom. Okay, cool. Cool. Maybe put Rexat arrives in 2893 as well. Yeah. Great point. You know what? I'm gonna put it right here on that. 2893 ARG UESC The Rex, I don't think I have that. No, I just have the evidence files being recorded. Oh, well, I guess it implies that. We'll include that though, just as like a reference. Because that lets us know that probably arrived that year prior, and they started collecting information. Alright. Cool. Okay, so we have the last thing being the intended arrival date. We have the evidence files, which is kind of like the latest thing we see. We got all of the NARG stuff. Man, add a lot of cool stuff here. We added the toilet theory, all that information. Alright, we got this stuff in the middle, filled in the dots for some of it. We have our theoretical date in the 25th century. We have the Sakaguchi history stuff. Nice. Wow, okay. Well, oh, and we're looking for this. So, to find if there's a date that Equanimity actually launched available. Kind of one thing that we're looking to add on. So I think we have a pretty cohesive timeline put together here that accounts for what appears to be everything that is canonical. That being basically everything right up to the beginning of Marathon 2. So colony ship gets destroyed, the colony gets destroyed, Durandal, Tycho, and Leela are gone, seemingly. So I think this includes most of the relevant stuff. I think over the next week, before we do the next stream, I'm gonna just like do a double check, run through some of the stuff, see if I can find a date for the Equanimity launch. And if there's anything else I come across. And then, I don't know, I think for the next stream, it might be too boring. I'm kind of thinking, how can we present this, in a clean format? I like what the story page done, although it is kind of a very 90s, early 2000s web aesthetic that they do for the timeline. Like, this is a very clean format. So maybe I'll drop it into like a Google Sheets or something. But I think I might kind of brainstorm some ways to put it together in a more visually, stimulating way. But I think this is very good. So now it's just about getting this into a format that's kind of shareable as a singular image, and having the data kind of come across as readable and include this stuff in it. But yeah, can make a video of the timeline. A cool visual. Yeah, because I think that is a good idea. Do a video kind of just running through the entire timeline, just like talking through each point. Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, also, I mean, I want to, just because I feel like the marathon community historically they've had a lot of iterations of timelines and potential timelines and kind of, different people putting stuff together. So I think if we can put this together in a way that's kind of readable and something that can be shared, in a good image, I think the larger community might enjoy that as a reference material. So I think I'm going to brainstorm some things, maybe throw that together this week, and then figure out what we're going to do for the next stream. But I'm going to definitely, background check a few of these things, make sure it, the format and everything looks good, and then yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate everyone who's come out. I've enjoyed doing the streams. I know I'm not a excellent streamer, haven't done things like this before, but I'm really having a good time doing this. Sharing my love of Marathon with other people has been great. And Sneaky, I'm looking forward to your video, dude, a Marathon. Definitely let me know when that's posted. And excited about Bond's upcoming video. I know Sato's working on videos, so I think it's cool that we got quite a few people here that are, creating stuff around this new game. And I think there's a lot to be said and done around it and for it. So, very cool. Well, I appreciate everyone coming out and showing support. Once again, if you're watching this, you're watching it live. Hey, young bruh, how's it going? Definitely check out Bond's channel. Subscribe to him. Watch his video. It's very good. And we're going to be on the lookout for Sneaky's videos as well. Thank you so much to the stream MVPs. I appreciate you. Sneaky, you have been a wonderful asset. I appreciate you spending your night here with me, dude. Super helpful having you along as an extra set of eyes. So, cannot wait to put this together and we can share it with everyone else in the community. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. I had a good time. I'll see you guys later.